I'm so excited because we're about to have a conversation on Jadala. Najua mayouth wengi mnanisikia nyu kwanga tu mna cycle from one place to the other. And big up, if you're a cyclist, big up yourself. Unajua venye cyclist inapatia msema gwembe. Na ni important maze. Usikule chali maze nikiangalia mguu zako yani the only thing umaesukuma ni pedal. Ya brakes. Kwa gari. Hata skwembe haiko bana. So maybe you need to start cycling. But the challenge is, if you want to cycle in the city of Nairobi, sijui juu ya hizo town zingine nilitembea Kiambu kidogo, niliona mafootpath kidogo, sikuona place yani you can cycle. And we got two guests in studio. They are passionate about this. They're part of a group called Critical Mass that has a campaign talking about safe cycling in the city of Nairobi. I want you to make welcome my guests in studio. We've got Cyprine. Hey, Cyprine, you gotta be more changamuka than that. After even the dance we've done. I made you dance. So let's do that again. We got Cyprine.
Hi.
Yeah, man. And of course, as alongside Cyprine, we've got two guests in studio. Ebu wambie jina yako tafadhali.
Hi guys, my name is Alfred Nyakango, one of the coordinators behind Critical Mass Nairobi.
All right, what is Critical Mass?
Critical Mass, it's a movement that we came up with. We are trying to create awareness about cyclists and coming up, trying to push the government and the other stakeholders behind the road safety to open up ways to make cycling safer for any person that is being the kid, the grandma, your sister, your mother.
Hey, wait, hold up. There's a grandma who's riding a bicycle.
Actually, yes.
Okay. Cyprine.
Yes.
Critical Mass. Tell us about this.
Well, Critical Mass began back in 2014, and back then we were just a handful of cyclists, and the idea was just, a few friends cycling in the evening, just having fun. But then there was a realization that a lot of us are not really enjoying sitting in our cars. So the movement started growing, and from just having a handful of cyclists, now we have more than, I think the last group ride we had, we were more than 500 cyclists.
Whoa!
And the agenda here is to get people back on bicycles and make cycling the norm again, because we are all tired of sitting in traffic. We are all tired of being stressed and fatigued. Like, people are so depressed in this city, and there's nowhere for people to go and breathe. There's nowhere for people to go and exercise, because gyms are expensive.
Hells yeah.
They are so expensive.
Preach,
and
sister.
once you get a bicycle, it's free.
Yeah.
And people get a chance to socialize. And that's what we wanted to do with Critical Mass Nairobi. Get people back on bicycles, get people to make new friends, get people to rest and just have fun and become young at heart again.
To be honest, by the way, I've taken part in Critical Mass. Was it early this year? You had one before my corona mazizi. I think it was in March or February. I really enjoyed that.
The one we went to keep that.
Lakini kulikuwa na mazi wengine wako na pace ingine pole pole. Mimi nilikuwa tu nataka kuenda. But I enjoyed being part of Critical Mass. But one of the challenges, like ukiona the city of Nairobi, right? Let's be real. How many people can afford cars?
There's actually a study that was done back in 2014 by JICA. And the study showed that there are actually a handful of people who own private cars in this city. But if you look at the way the roads are designed, you'd think everybody has a car. Yeah. But that's not the truth. The truth is more people walk. Yeah. And there's a big percentage of those who walk who would rather ride bicycles. But they can't, because where are they going to ride?
That's a big question. I've been working on getting a bike, as I'm sure Bernadette will tell you, for the past 3 years. Do you know what my biggest concern is?
Tell us.
Dying on the road because a driver, amenigonga. Because nina ride slowly. Why do we have a situation of cyclists fighting for the roads with drivers? 18 minutes past 8 a.m., we are talking to the guys from Critical Mass, and they will explain to us what they mean by safe roads for cyclists. Don't go anywhere.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
Remember, you're on Morning Vibes or with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox. And of course, we're talking about cycling safely in the city of Nairobi. I've got 2 guests in studio. I want you to just sit down, enjoy this conversation, or you can also tweet at us using hashtag Kwambox and Vibes, uchangie conversation. I'm going to start with you, Cyprine. What does safe cycling in a city look like? Because even with the roads that are being constructed, a lot of people who are listening to us don't understand what the complaint is. Washaeke alami, shida niko wapi tena?
Well, in a nutshell, safe cycling is when an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old can go on the road, ride their bicycles without being escorted by anyone. That is safe cycling.
But there's someone who counter that argument aseme, kwani hawezi ride kwa estate yenu?
Yeah, but I don't work in the estate. I have to go about my duties. I have to go to work. I have to go and meet my friends. I have to go and have fun. You know, I'm not going to just cycle in the estate. And have you seen our estates? Do they look like they have anywhere for people to ride? See, everything is a parking lot.
Cyprine, don't shout at us, please.
No, you know.
I hear you. I hear you. You're really talking the truth. I find the unaona mtu yeye amekuwa hapo nje na baiskeli yake kwa estate. Unaona tu mtu yeye anapotea ndani ya pothole alafu anarudi. As in, it's an extreme sport to ride a bicycle even in the estates.
Yeah.
What the Nairobi Metropolitan Service is doing in the city, is that helping?
So far it's cause bado wako on the process ya kutengeneza of which itatusaidia. But kitu tulikuwa tunataka it's like the cycling lane wanatengeneza ni CBD. Mimi siishi CBD. Naishi sema Kangware, naishi mwingine naishi Lavington, kuna mtu anaishi Dagoretti.
What many points Lavington?
Because watu walavi pia wanataka kuride hiyo bike. That's the thing.
Lakini wao wanakuanga yani kwa estate yao already, kwa compound yao.
Angalia ndati hiyo lavi sahi ni ma flats. Hiyo space kidogo itakulimit sana kushinda kwa estate. You want to go out on the road. That's where the adventure is, kutoka nje. Sasa okay, wanafanya kitu poa kututengeneza cycling lane, but tunataka kitu connecting. I can get neza toka kutoka kwangu ni kuja all the way to town. So hiyo hakuna venye nitakuja nibebe bike nifike town ndio niendesha hapo ndio itakuwa safe.
Even ndio unafanyanga?
Sorry?
Babanga bike yako at some point.
At some point kuna cycling zenye lane wametuwekea. For example kuna kama on Kileleshwa. If you want to move from one point to another, outer or you can't cycle to another point. It's not a continuous.
It's not connected.
So especially, you have to stop, skuma bike, nikao unakuwa tena pedestrian. Sasa unatembea.
Mazivo.
Tunataka tu kitoka flow mpaka venye wanaeka hivyo tao wapandishe like Ngong Road unaona they're trying to do something for us on Ngong Road. Wapelekeo kitu kutoka CBD, hiyo Kani Valley Road, all the way to Ngong Road. Mtu akitoka, you just have a smooth way. Come to the CBD. Sasa
tuongee juu hiyo sasa Ngong Road. Ngong Road ndio hao wameka bike lanes, lakini unapata yani Cyprine, you're telling us your first accident actually happened on a bike lane. Tell us what happened.
My goodness, this pedestrian. I love pedestrians and I will always fight for pedestrians. But pedestrians don't know the difference between a bike lane and a footpath.
What's the difference?
Well, at the moment, there's no way to tell the difference because they've not been marked. So somebody who has never seen a bike lane ama hajui baiskeli inafaa kuendeshwa hapo will just walk. And you can lecture them, you can try to educate them, but as long as it's not marked, they will continue walking there. So my one and only accident in Nairobi was on a bike lane, and it was because a pedestrian was walking on a bike lane. And when I politely told them that, this is a bike lane, they're actually very angry with me. Akaniambia, wenda uendesha baiskeli uko kwa barabara. And I was like, but hapa ndio kwangu.
Wow.
But it's because they don't know. There's never been any awareness. Like the government doesn't go to educate the public about the difference between a footpath and a bike lane. The only campaigns we hear are road safety. And it's always during Christmas, when there are crashes and all that. That's when they tell people about road safety. But it's never road safety on any other place other than where the vehicles are being driven.
Wow.
So people don't know.
People don't know the difference between a bike lane and a pedestrian walk. But also kumbuka kwamba yani pedestrians tumetoka mbali bana. Tumetoka mbali. Kabla nyewe wasa bike mwanze complain, sisi ndio tulikuwa tuna complain wa kwanza. Hakukuwa hata na pedestrian walk. So tukiona lami yoyote on the side, na si pali magari zinafaa kupitia. My Gideon boot is definitely going to pass there. All right, 26 minutes past 8 a.m. We're still talking about road safety for cyclists. What questions do you have? Remember to use the hashtag Kwambox on Vibes. What's your campaign called?
Cyclists Lives Matter.
Cyclists Lives Matter.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
Asante sana kwa kuwa nami kuanzia 6 am, wengine wenu hata 5 am ukirequest mangoma. Tumeingia mjadala. Asante sana to Ibrahim Abdallah. Wani Abdullah. Kuna kuanga na Abdullah na Abdallah? Wacha hizo. Abdullahi. Okay. Lakini hakuna Abdullah. Abdullah ni jina kweli? Ibrahim umetuma video hapo. Hiyo ni NYS. Ni msee wa NYS anatandikwa rasa hivyo. Hafanyia wasi vizuri. First mwaibie do zao, alafu mwatandike rasa. Ni boyfriend wa mtu. If you want to see the video, iko kwa #Kwambox on vibes. Ni boyfriend wa mtu anatandikwa hivyo. Hii ni part of training. Naona wengine wamepanga line hapo. Wanangojea kutandikwa hivyo. Discipline. Corporal punishment haikuangi wewe. Unless uko jelani. Ama ni wale wase wa kutumia ile message ati account yako inafungwa, wewe unafaa kutandikwa wewe. Najijua jana tulipigana na wewe kwa simu yangu. All right. We're talking about safe cycling in the city of Nairobi. We're going to take some phone calls, but in the meantime, I'm talking to the guys here in studio. Children riding bicycles and ladies. Are you foreseeing a scenario where kids can go to school on their bikes?
That's a tricky question because there are actually a lot more children riding bicycles right now. But I don't necessarily foresee children riding to school because the roads are still dangerous.
Yeah.
The roads are still being built as if people should not be riding bicycles. So until that happens, our children will be forced to wake up at 5 a.m. to sit in traffic just to go a few kilometers to school.
And I find that super ridiculous. Do you feel like our leaders are visionary in that way? Like, for example, Critical Mass has been there since when?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So you, of course, when the manifestos were being read, did anyone who was running for presidency at that time or governor of Nairobi addressing cyclists?
Achata cyclists, pedestrians were never in the picture. The most important road user is a pedestrian.
Yeah.
But if you just look at the roads, it's like Madarao, like live. You look at Thika Road, for example. Yes, it has something that is called a footpath.
Yeah.
It's good. It's okay. It can be used. And then you go to all these new roads being constructed. It's like a footpath has been slapped there.
Yeah.
Ati wacha tuwaweke matope watembe. When it rains, everybody will end up walking on the road.
Shout out to Kembu County.
I know, right?
I've seen their footpaths. They are atrocious.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. And they might red matope there. So and then your boss will be wondering why must you carry an extra pair of shoes?
Imagine, and you want to come in our CBD na unaona tumewekewa carpet hapo. Tafadhali kama unatoka place kuna matope, wacha viatu. Hapo Kencom wewe. Usingie nazo. But we're just talking about Nairobi. Is Critical Mass only based in Nairobi?
We began in Nairobi, but now we've started having other counties doing the same thing. Mombasa has really picked up. The movement is growing in Mombasa. The movement is also growing in Eldoret, Kisumu. So everybody is crying out for better for cycling lanes and better facilities for cyclists. Yeah. And when you give cyclists good facilities, to a great extent, you've given pedestrians. Yeah. Because you cannot build a cycle lane and forget a footpath. Haiwezi fanyika.
Ni ukweli.
They go hand in hand.
Nowadays, I see more cyclists have, the gear is there, the shops are there, bikes are there, but the roads are still not there. We're talking about Nairobi right now. Is there any county that's doing it better than us?
Well, Mombasa is doing a good job.
Mombasa they are trying. To put safety for mtu kama mtoto aendeshe baiskeli. Wengine wanataka barrier, like a distinctive barrier. Anajua gari hakuna, there's no way a car will come to. Unaona? Ni watu kidogo sana kama sisi tunajipea kubishana na gari. Utanipata kwa barabara naambia gari bana utataka kunigonga or something. And it's so rare to find people. That's why you see when tukita Critical Mass, people come in numbers because they know watapata marshals and then when you're in a group wanaona ni kama ni safe. Other na kikuwa peke yake anajua maybe niko tu peke yangu watu watanirusha na wataniacha. You'll be knocked and you'll be left because kama like tulikuwa tuna ride like the previous weekend because of one of our friend who lost his life on the road.
What happened? What happened?
It was it's like you see when you are riding bicycle. Okay, to me from my own explanation, the way because I've experienced such a thing on the road. ile like mtu anaona kama baiskeli, it's not something if I kwa barabara ama you're not too fast. You know, people race, it's a sport. So something leisure, tunaamka asubuhi tu uendeshe urudi utulie. People are doing it for a sport. So there are guys who are training and we don't have good roads. We are forced to use the same roads that the cars are used. Hata unapata our races inabidi tuongea hata race inaendelea. Like you see there's Tour de France going on. You see how those guys are doing? Wanafunga the road completely. As we have races in Kenya, but race inaendelea na matatu inafanya kazi yake at the same time. And you know it's a race, you can't go at a speed of car kutembea. It's like 50 kilometers per hour or something. So that's the problem. I think we are forced to use the same utilities enye watu wanatumia.
When okay, you know, there are a lot of drivers who are listening to this conversation in their cars heading to work and they're like, itabidi mungoje kwa sababu, you know, roads are still being built. You know, we're talking about expressway. You know, as a cyclist, when you see an expressway being built before they've expressed love for pedestrians and cyclists, how do you feel?
I was very, very upset when I saw that expressway thing, because in many ways this is an urban center. Why do we need an expressway? This is my personal opinion. Why do we need an expressway for such a short distance to move cars? Which cars? Private cars. If you look at Mombasa Road, how many public vehicles are actually on this road? Not as many as the private cars. But if we build a road that would transport more people in a public vehicle, you'd have less traffic. And that would be enough space to even build a wider footpath. And when you build a wider footpath and a good footpath, more people would walk. All this expressway will be useless. Because now you've created a safe. Imagine if Ngong Road was brought to Mombasa Road. Just as simple as that.
I'd be riding to work.
Exactly.
I'd be riding to work.
Even walking, you would walk to work.
I would walk to work,
because people who live in South B can walk to CBD. It's not that far.
Unapitia kwa, lakini hiyo nje hapo katikati mazee, mimi naogopa unaweza porwa.
Lakini nasema kama Ngong Road ingeletwa Mombasa Road, watu wa South B wangetembea mpaka Tao. But venye imejengwa saa hizi na venye inaenda kujengwa, it's only going to be focusing on cars, private cars.
Imagine that. 22 minutes to 9 a.m. You're probably sitting there saying, imagine me, I don't care about cycling. But think about this. Ebona venye umenona. Angalia kutambi. Umeka kwa gari. Umeitoa kwa basement. Umeingia. Unasukuma paka kwa basement ya ofisi. Utaiwacha hapo. Alafu utafanya kazi the whole week. Alafu utalipia 60,000 kuingia gym. Unaona kama hiyo ni ufala. Si sasa uanze kucampaign waweke cyclist lane, that way you can kill two birds with one stone. You just cycle to work. Ukifika job watu wanakuambia, "Hey, my office husband, umefika?"
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
12 minutes to 9 a.m. This is Morning Vibes with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox. Yeah, man. I'm so excited because we're about to get into the big battle in the next hour. But right about now, of course, I'm talking to Alfred and Cyprine here in studio, talking to us about making roads safe for cyclists again. Phone lines are open. Kuna swali gani unataka kuuliza? Kumbuka nambari ni 0719012700. That's 0719012700. Let's go to Ruiru. Melanie. Hello. Melanie, yako tayari? Shamata.
Kwambox.
Wagwan.
Unasemaje? Niko bie?
Mimi niko fiti pia.
Ngongo tuko bie? Sasa?
Yes.
Sasa ile bike complete yenye uwezi enda kwa barabara ulizwe kitu na NTSA. Full bike inafaa kuwa aje? Full bike inafaa kuwa aje?
Pardon?
Okay, hebu rudia swali lako tena.
Nasema kuna ile bike complete bike.
Yes.
Which features inafaa kuwa nazo venye uwezi ulizwa na mtu?
Okay, Shamata hapo is asking, I think, about a bicycle. What features a bicycle should have. All right, asante sana Shamata. We will get to your question. Let's get some more questions and then you'll just answer them in one bundle. Sindo? Yeah. Hello. Habari ya asubuhi.
Nzuri sana. Ni aje huko studio?
Studio ko lit bana. Huko kuko aje, uko wapi?
Mimi niko Limuru mazee, kabaridi ndio kanaondoka asubuhi.
Swali yangu ni
Yes.
what has the movement tried in terms of kuacquire power kaa kuongea na leaders ndio unaona kaa sahii kuna project mingi zinafanywa za kama barabara kujengwa and such.
Yes.
So what has the movement tried in terms of kuongea na leaders, labda wanaweza pata ile ataisikia tu kuongeza kwa budget ya that project something tu ndio waunde hata hiyo lane ya safety. Haiwezi kuwa too much of an increment for your budget probably.
All right, thank you so much. Ulisema jina nani?
Mimi naitwa
Samuel, asante sana. Unapiga kutoka area gani?
Limuru Kabuki.
Limuru huko wako na cycling lane ama governor wenu amelenga?
Huku ni street kusaiko mazee, kwanza hizi matrela zinapitanga huku.
Unasikia tu shwa ikikupita.
Bana unatetemeka kidogo.
All right. I gotta let you go. Asante sana. Nakumbuka Ridimo zinakame
na nimeingoja sana bana.
Sawa. Let's take one more phone call before. So he's asking what juhudi gani mko nazo na leaders, to work on cycling roads. We're going to get to that. Patrick.
Hello.
Unasemaje?
Kwanza nasalimia wageni. Habari zenu wageni wetu?
Poa sana.
Mimi naitwa Patrick Kadere kutoka Kitale. Mimi kwanza niko na black mamba yangu hapa. Wacha hata usikize ndio hii black mamba yangu hapa. I have my black mamba. I always use my shughuli zangu za kila siku. Wanga na travel around 20 km per day every day.
Wow.
Nice.
Lakini mimi ningeuliza hao wageni. Mimi nikiendesha hii baiskeli yangu na nimevaa jacket na sweaty sana kwa inabidi nitoe. I always use t-shirt when I driving my bicycle. Is it comfortable ama inafaa nivae kama wengine? Sababu mimi natembea tu yangu nimeweka side mirror. Alafu sijawahi gonga na gari. Ingawa hakuna hiyo bicycle hii barabara ya baiskeli ile kutembea tu. Lakini yangu kuna side mirror, I always use my side mirror nikiona trend inakuja place natoka barabarani mimi mwenyewe.
All right. Asante sana Patrick. Asante sana. Patrick is our super MVP from Kitale. I think I'm going to take one more call by Jejo and then we'll just wrap it up. Jejo.
Hello, Vibes Radio.
Hii ni Vibes Radio. Unasemaje leo?
Mimi hiyo story ya
Imekuguza.
Kama mazee watengeneza. Hello.
Nakusikia?
Watengeneza bana. Hawa watu tunao.
Okay. Asante sana. Jejo there from Banana. You can hear cyclists all across the country. You can hear someone in Kitale, someone in Mombasa. They all have similar challenges. There's someone who asked, kuna miradi gani na serikali ndio as they are doing all these constructions for roads, they can include cyclist paths.
Okay. So we are aware that there's a urban road design manual that has been presented to Kura, to the Ministry of Transport.
Yeah, who presented it?
There are several organizations that came together to develop that, the design manual.
Are these cyclist organizations?
Cyclists were part of that, the stakeholders that helped develop that manual.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, our roads we don't have design, our engineers don't have manual a good manual that they can use to design urban roads. Most roads are designed with, I think the manual, the guidelines that they use are from the 80s.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, clearly bicycles were, not anything to be considered part of the road.
Plus there were fewer cars.
Exactly. So that they have been using that. So now there's a draft that has been presented to the Ministry of Transport. So they need to implement that draft because the draft actually accommodates cycle lanes and footpaths and wide enough for a good number of pedestrians to use and a good number of cyclists to use. And also there's a well-connected network of the cycle tracks because hakuna haja kutengeneza bike lane iko Thika road lakini haujambia mtu venye anafika hiyo anaifikia wacha hata kuitumia kuifikia.
Yeah.
If you're at University of Nairobi, yes, there's a bike lane just next to Parkland, just there in Parkland.
Yeah.
But how to get to it? Ni kizungumkuti.
So unabeba bike kwa kichwa.
Hakuna venye unaifikia.
Okay.
Hakuna venye unaifikia. You just have to find yourself there and drop your bicycle on that bike lane. And then it is assumed ukifika kwa junction utabeba baiskeli tena upande hiyo cab it's almost a meter high.
I've seen it.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to carry it. Anyway, so there's that urban road design manual. But then NTSA also has a road safety act that they came up with. I think it was in 2019. Which is also sitting somewhere.
It's like the two-third gender rule, girl. You know, panga line. Because even two-third gender rule, wamekaa nayo hapo wameng'edhia mpaka CJ amesema, hey, dissolve parliament.
Yes. So sisi kama cyclists, we want to also write our own petition.
Yeah.
Because we can't keep waiting for the government to do. We are going to write our own petition and say we want amendments in the Traffic Act. Amendments, we want certain things that will ensure a cyclist is safe before, during and after an accident. Haimaanishi ukinigonga na gari tunaanza kunegotiate kando ya barabara and then you pay me what you think you should be paying me ati 2,000. Baiskeli yangu si 2,000, my friend. Hata kama ni 2,000, my life is not worth 2,000 shillings. You know, you should be able to if I want to go to court, I have something that I can take to court and be protected.
Do cops even stop there and say and try to listen to your case? Someone anasema mu negotiate.
Negotiate. Hatutaki kunego.
Mweke baiskeli kando.
Yes.
Hakuna inachoro.
Nataka kuweka gari. Accident ikifanyika, police come tuachana kila kitu hapo isota.
Yeah.
Hey, but
hivyo ndio madhara imefika. Yani unadharau baiskeli to that much. Unagongwa wait, so kutoa kitu kwanza hapa. Traffic endelee. Na hiyo ni life ya mtu umerisk ama umeua. Alafu machanisho.
Majority of cyclists are young people. Of course, they're the ones who can't generally afford cars. It becomes an option. Kumalizia, kuna mtu ameuliza swali hapo. We're going to answer this question for them on video and we're going to post it on Instagram.
Okay.
They're talking about, the gear and the bike. And I'm sure you can be able to advise on that, right? Guys, thank you so much for coming here. I know that my MVPs who are listening, a lot of them are cyclists. You've had your story ya kungangana na gari kwa barabara. It's wrong. Your right is wanafaa kukupatia cyclist lane, but hawezi ongea tu hapo solo peke yako. You need to join the community. What's the hashtag?
We are going with the hashtag #MyLane2 and another one, Cyclists Lives Matter.
Cyclists Lives Matter.
Yeah.
All right. Join the movement. Let's start petitioning, lobbying the government to make sure that pali pedestrian wako, pali cyclist wako, and also training for drivers on how to and pedestrians how to engage on these roads.
Kwambox, tupenda kurequest NMS as much as wanatengeneza cycling lane in CBD, watuweke pia parking. Because pia utakuja na bike yako hakuna pale utaacha uanze kutafuta soja kuweke pale. Unaona?
Hata sikuwa nafikiria hiyo.
So at least
tumelipa 50 bob mob.
Unachia watchman pale nichungie na watch. It's not a guarantee bike yako itakuwa safe.
Atakwambia mimi sijui.
Ama sawa aende aitwe pale.
So tunataka bike yako ishie.
A safe parking space.
Na pia wana slot parking ya magari, watafute section ya bike. Hatujasema hatutalipa. Tutalipa
kwani nini weka cycling parking hapo, tutalipa.
Hata hapa kwa job pale mnafanya, ndio pia ukikuja na bike yako si unairusha tu pale. Kuna pale umepark poa, inakupea hiyo confidence ya kuja nayo, psyche ya kukuja nayo.
Nilikuwa na plan kuweka hapa ndani ya studio.
Unaona? Because you know how much it's worth it.
I'm loving this. Guys, Cyprine and Alfred, thank you so much. You can follow at Critical Mass Nairobi. At Critical Mass Nairobi. Join the movement because one of these days, action better happen and cyclists better be safe on the roads. It starts with you and me.
Vibes Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.